Every painful relationship has a moment you don't want to admit. The moment you realize the people closest to you are the ones draining your strength the most. Maybe it's family, maybe it's a friend you've known for years. But something shifted. Their words cut deeper, their presence feels heavier, and your peace disappears the moment they enter the room. Here's the truth most people avoid. You do not owe tolerance to disrespect, manipulation, or emotional exhaustion just because there is history, blood, or shared memories. Stoic philosophy teaches that your first duty is protection. Protection of your mind, your time, your inner peace, even if that protection requires distance from people who feel entitled to hurt you. Today we will examine 8 undeniable signs that it may be time to cut ties or create distance, even from those you once cared about. Not from anger, from clarity, from self-respect. They consistently belittle you. There is a quiet kind of harm that leaves no bruises, no visible scars, no moment dramatic enough for outsiders to notice. But it works slowly, silently, patiently. It plants doubt where confidence once lived. This kind of harm doesn't break bones. It breaks self-trust. It shows up in small comments that linger longer than they should, in subtle tones that carry disrespect beneath politeness, in jokes that always seem to land just a little too close to your core. You begin to feel it before you can explain it. When someone consistently minimizes your achievements, when they mock your effort, when they treat your goals as unrealistic, childish, or naive, you are not experiencing honesty. You are witnessing erosion. Belittling is rarely loud. It doesn't always come as shouting, insults, or open hostility. In fact, its most dangerous form is quiet. It hides behind sarcasm, behind just joking, behind advice that sounds helpful but feels condescending, behind comparisons designed to remind you of your place. You share something you're proud of. They pause, tilt their head, offer a half smile. You explain a plan that matters to you. They interrupt with laughter before you finish the sentence. They call it realism. They call it humor. They call it keeping you grounded. But pay attention. Their realism never sharpens your vision. Their humor never strengthens you. Their grounding never elevates you. It only reduces you. Stoic philosophy reminds us that insults reveal the speaker far more than the target. A person secure in themselves does not need to diminish others. A person at peace does not feel threatened by growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the behavior of others is their burden, not yours. Someone who constantly shrinks those around them is often hiding a deep internal lack. They cannot expand, so they compress. They cannot rise, so they pull downward. Belittling is projection in disguise. It is insecurity reaching for leverage. It is envy wearing the mask of concern. It is control pretending to be care. The true danger is not the comment itself. It is what happens when those comments become normal. You begin adjusting your tone, softening your excitement, editing your dreams before you speak them aloud. You start choosing silence over enthusiasm, restraint over expression. You stop sharing ideas, not because they lack value, but because you don't want to feel foolish for believing in them. Slowly, without realizing it, you begin living below your potential to preserve comfort with someone who has no interest in seeing you rise. That is the quiet cost. A healthy person celebrates your growth without competition. A grounded friend supports ambition without jealousy. Someone who truly values you does not need to shrink you to feel significant. When belittling becomes consistent, respect has already collapsed, and respect is the foundation of every real relationship. The Stoic response is not argument, not emotional defense, not explaining yourself into exhaustion. It is observation, recognition, withdrawal. You observe the pattern without reacting. You acknowledge the disrespect without internalizing it. And you withdraw emotional access from those who misuse it. You cannot force someone to treat you better, but you can refuse to stay where your worth is questioned. If someone makes you feel smaller every time you share your truth, your wins, or your vision for your life, that is not connection. It is slow psychological demolition. And the most self-respecting decision you can make is to walk away from anyone who benefits from your self-doubt, your silence, or your pain. Respect is not earned through endurance, it is required. They never take responsibility, expanded. One of the clearest signs that a relationship has become unhealthy is when the other person refuses to take responsibility for anything. Not occasionally, not under stress, consistently. Every mistake has an explanation. Every conflict has a justification. Every consequence has a reason that never leads back to them. It is always someone else's fault. You misunderstood. You overreacted. You took it the wrong way. The timing was bad. The situation was unfair. Never them. At first, this behavior can look like immaturity, but over time, its true nature becomes clear. This is not carelessness. It is avoidance. People who refuse accountability are experts at rewriting reality. They twist conversations after the fact. They deny words they clearly spoke. They change details just enough to confuse you. They use selective memory to protect their image. When you confront them with facts, they don't reflect. They deflect. They act confused. They act wounded. They shift the focus from what they did to how your confrontation made them feel. Hold them accountable, and suddenly you become the problem. You're dramatic, unfair, too sensitive, too demanding. This pattern repeats with precision. Blame, deflection, guilt, reset, again and again. This behavior is not accidental. It is calculated self-protection. Admitting fault requires humility, self-awareness, emotional maturity. Those who lack these qualities will bend reality before they bend their ego. Stoic philosophy warns against engaging with this dynamic. A disciplined mind examines itself before accusing others. But someone who refuses responsibility does the opposite. They protect their self-image at the cost of your mental stability. Over time, the damage accumulates. You begin carrying emotional weight that isn't yours. You apologize just to end the tension. You soften your truth to keep the peace. You start questioning your memory, your intentions, your character. You replay conversations in your head, wondering if you really were the problem. This is how accountability avoidance becomes psychological erosion. And here is the truth most people miss. Accountability is respect. When someone refuses to own their actions, they are telling you your experience does not matter. Your feelings do not matter. Your boundaries do not matter. They prioritize their comfort over your well-being. And when they refuse to carry their share of the relationship, you end up carrying it for both of you. Until you're exhausted, until you're resentful, until you collapse. The Stoic response is not confrontation. It is clarity. You stop arguing with someone committed to denial. You stop explaining yourself to someone invested in misunderstanding. You observe the pattern without emotion, and you step back. You set boundaries that protect your mind, You stop accepting blame that does not belong to you. You refuse to carry guilt that was never yours to hold. A relationship without accountability is not a partnership. It is a burden. And choosing distance from someone who always makes you the problem is not cruelty. It is self-respect. Blame is their weapon. Clarity is your shield. They only come to you when they need something. There is a certain kind of relationship that feels warm only when the other person wants something from you. Your time, your attention, your emotional labor, your money, your reassurance, your strength. When they are confused, overwhelmed, lonely, or in crisis, you suddenly matter. The messages arrive faster, the calls last longer, the tone softens. But the moment their need is met, the warmth disappears, their presence fades, their interest dissolves, and you are left with a familiar question. Why do I always feel useful, but rarely valued? This is not connection, it is convenience, and convenience is not care. People who use others rarely do it openly. They disguise their need as vulnerability. They frame it as just needing advice. They say you're the only one who understands. They present dependence as closeness. But patterns reveal what words conceal. Ask yourself this quietly. Do they check on you when nothing is wrong? Do they celebrate your wins without redirecting the focus? Do they show up when you are tired, struggling, or in need, or only when they want relief from their own chaos? Stoic philosophy teaches that a healthy relationship is built on mutual contribution, not one-sided extraction. A bond sustained only by what you give is not a bond. It is a transaction. Someone who only shows up when it benefits them is not choosing you as a person. They are choosing access, and access without care is exploitation. The most dangerous part of these relationships is how quietly they reshape your behavior. You begin answering every call out of guilt. You drop your plans because they need you. You pour emotional energy into their problems even when you are empty. You become their rescuer, their stabilizer, their emotional safety net. Meanwhile, your needs go unrecognized. Your exhaustion goes unnoticed. Your struggles are barely acknowledged. And when you finally reach a moment of need, they are suddenly unavailable, too busy, too overwhelmed, unable to deal with this right now. This is the imbalance that slowly dismantles self-worth. You start believing your value lies in what you provide, in how much you fix, in how much you sacrifice. You forget that you too deserve reciprocity. You too deserve to be supported without having to earn it through exhaustion. The Stoic response is simple, but not easy. Observe actions, not intentions, not promises, not emotional language. Someone who values you shows up consistently, not strategically. You set boundaries with those who take more than they give. You limit access to those who only appear when it's convenient. You stop explaining why you are unavailable. Your time is finite. Your energy is non-renewable. Your peace is not public property. If someone only knocks on your door when they need something, they are not choosing you. They are choosing the benefits of you. And that is not a relationship you are obligated to maintain. Your energy is a resource. Protect it. They treat your boundaries like a joke, expanded. There is no clearer indicator of disrespect than someone who repeatedly ignores or mocks the boundaries you set to protect your peace. A boundary is not a request. It is not a preference. It is not something open for negotiation. A boundary is a line drawn from self-respect. It defines what is acceptable in your life and what is not. But for some people, boundaries are seen as obstacles, something to test, something to push against, something to laugh at. They respond to your limits with sarcasm. Relax. You're too sensitive. It's not that serious. I was just joking. Notice what happens in these moments. Instead of acknowledging your discomfort, they dismiss it. Instead of adjusting their behavior, they shift the responsibility back onto you. Your boundary becomes the problem, not their behavior. This is not misunderstanding, it is examination. They are testing how firm you are, how much you will tolerate, how easily your self-respect can be bent for their comfort. And every time you allow it to slide, you teach them that the test is worth repeating. This is how a dangerous dynamic forms. You begin adjusting yourself instead, softening your tone, choosing your words carefully, allowing small violations to avoid conflict. You tolerate what drains you. You excuse what disrespects you. You start believing that asking for dignity makes you demanding or difficult. Stoic philosophy teaches that dignity is preserved through action, not explanation. Marcus Aurelius warned that we cannot control the behavior of others, but we are fully responsible for what we allow. A boundary that is explained endlessly is a boundary that is already being ignored. When someone repeatedly dismisses your limits, they are not confused. They are asserting that their preferences matter more than your peace. And no relationship can remain healthy under that imbalance. Healthy people do not mock boundaries. They listen, they adjust, they respect limits without resentment. They understand that honoring your boundary is not a loss, it is a sign of care. When someone treats your boundaries like a joke, what they are truly saying is this: my comfort comes before your well-being. The Stoic response is firm, calm, and action-centered. You state the boundary once, clearly, without apology, without justification. Then you observe. If the behavior continues, you do not argue, you do not negotiate, you do not explain again. You withdraw access, your time, your attention, your emotional presence. This is not punishment, it is protection. Because the truth is simple. If someone ignores your boundaries, they are not misunderstanding you, they are revealing themselves. And when a person refuses to honor your limits, they lose the privilege of your presence. Respect is not proven by words, it is proven by restraint. If you're choosing peace over attachment, comment, I choose clarity. The right people will understand. They feel envious when you succeed. One of the most painful realizations in life is discovering that someone close to you does not genuinely want to see you succeed. They smile when you share good news, but something feels off. The smile is tight, the enthusiasm forced, the energy shifts in a way you can't ignore. Instead of warmth, there is distance. Instead of celebration, discomfort. Envy is quiet, but it is never invisible. You begin to notice it in their reactions. When something good happens to you, they downplay it. They change the subject. They immediately compare it to someone else's achievement. When you speak about a new opportunity, they search for reasons it might fail. When you reach a meaningful milestone, they attach a reminder of their own struggles, sacrifices, or disappointments. They rarely say, I'm proud of you, without adding something that dulls the moment. This is how envy hides, not in open hostility, but in subtle theft of joy. The Stoics understood this well. Envy does not arise from another person's success. It arises from unexamined insecurity. Marcus Aurelius observed that people are pulled toward envy by their own inner suffering. meaning envy is never truly about you. It is about the emptiness they refuse to confront. Your growth exposes what they have avoided. Your confidence highlights their self-doubt. Your progress threatens the fragile stories they tell themselves to feel stable. But envy becomes dangerous when it shifts from emotion to behavior. You may notice discouragement disguised as concern, doubt planted quietly, achievements minimized, support offered publicly but withdrawn privately. In some cases, it turns into subtle sabotage, missed encouragement, backhanded compliments, or conversations that quietly undermine your momentum. When this dynamic exists, you begin to change. You share less, celebrate quietly, hold back dreams to avoid discomfort or resentment. Without realizing it, you start shrinking yourself to preserve the relationship. But no relationship is worth that cost. You cannot build a peaceful life while surrounded by people who feel threatened by your growth. The Stoic response is not resentment, not confrontation, not proving your worth. It is protection. You reduce what you share. You keep your plans guarded. You surround yourself with people who celebrate sincerely, not conditionally. A true friend does not compete with you. They rise beside you. When someone's support disappears the moment you rise, believe what their silence reveals. Not everyone deserves access to your progress, your momentum, or your future. Some people are meant to watch from a distance, and that distance is not punishment. It is preservation. You always feel like you're walking on eggshells. A relationship becomes emotionally dangerous the moment you realize you are no longer being yourself. Not loudly, not all at once, but quietly. When every word must be calculated, every reaction filtered, every truth softened, every emotion suppressed just to avoid triggering the other person. At that point, you are no longer relating, you are surviving. Walking on eggshells is not sensitivity, it is fear. And fear has no place where there is genuine care. You recognize this pattern instinctively. Before you speak, you rehearse. Before you disagree, you anticipate consequences. Before you express something real, you ask yourself, will this upset them? Will this be used against me? Will I pay for this later? Your nervous system becomes hyper-alert, always scanning for mood shifts, tone changes, silences that feel loaded. This is not connection, it is psychological tension. People who create this environment often do it subtly, through unpredictable reactions, through guilt disguised as concern, through passive-aggressive remarks, through sudden withdrawal or coldness, through using your vulnerabilities as leverage in later moments. Their inconsistency keeps you off balance. Their moods dictate the emotional climate, and instead of regulating themselves, they make you responsible for maintaining peace. You become the emotional caretaker, the stabilizer, the one who absorbs pressure so they don't have to face it. Stoic philosophy warns against this dynamic. Epictetus taught that the greatest form of slavery is dependence on another person's moods, judgments, or approval. When you constantly adjust yourself to avoid upsetting someone, you slowly surrender your autonomy. First, your honesty, then your confidence, eventually your identity. You become a version of yourself shaped by fear rather than virtue. Healthy relationships do not require shrinking. They do not punish truth. They do not make disagreement feel dangerous. In a healthy bond, conflict is a conversation, not a threat. Emotions are signals, not weapons. Honesty is welcomed, not punished. When someone makes you feel that you must tiptoe around them, it means they benefit from your hesitation. They benefit from your silence. They benefit from the emotional control they hold without ever admitting it. The Stoic response is clarity and courage. You begin observing without reacting. You stop managing their emotions. You separate what belongs to them from what is your responsibility. You speak calmly, directly, truthfully. And when fear continues to define the dynamic, you allow distance to grow, because no peace is worth the cost of losing yourself. If you cannot relax in someone's presence, that is not love. It is emotional captivity. Peace is not found where you must constantly shrink to feel safe. They do not respect your time, effort, or priorities. One of the most subtle yet destructive forms of disrespect is when someone consistently treats your time as if it has no value. They arrive late without apology. They cancel plans at the last minute. They expect instant replies. They interrupt your work. They dismiss your commitments. They assume your availability. This is not forgetfulness. It is not personality. It is entitlement. Time is not neutral. Time is life. Every hour you give away is an hour you never recover. When someone repeatedly wastes your time, they are telling you something without words. They are telling you that your life is secondary to theirs. They expect flexibility from you but offer none in return. They assume your schedule can bend while theirs remains fixed. They expect access without consideration. And when you express frustration, they don't reflect. They minimize. You're overthinking. It's not a big deal. You're too rigid. Notice the pattern. Instead of acknowledging the cost to you, they protect their comfort. Stoic philosophy treats time as sacred. Seneca warned that people guard their money fiercely while allowing others to steal their time, the one resource that can never be replaced. Someone who repeatedly intrudes on your time, dismisses your effort, or treats your priorities as optional, is revealing the level of respect they hold for you. The danger is not only in what they take, but in what it teaches you to accept. You start adjusting your schedule to avoid conflict. You drop your plans. You delay your goals. You apologize for being busy. You apologize for having boundaries. You apologize for having a life. Slowly, your world shrinks to accommodate theirs. Meanwhile, they remain unaffected, unbothered, free. Healthy people do not do this. Healthy people respect your commitments. They appreciate your effort. They recognize the weight of your responsibilities. They understand that your goals matter. They do not demand emotional labor on demand. They do not expect last-minute sacrifices. They do not treat your availability as a guarantee. The Stoic response is calm reclamation. You stop over-explaining. You stop rearranging your schedule. You stop apologizing for protecting your time. You begin using simple language. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I already have plans. No justification, no anger, clarity. When someone respects you, they adjust. When they don't, they push back. And that reaction tells you everything you need to know. If your time is always negotiable to them, but theirs is untouchable, you are not being treated as an equal. You are being treated as a convenience. Your time is sacred. Protect it from those who treat it as disposable. You feel more peaceful when you distance yourself. Sometimes the clearest sign that a relationship has run its course is not something the other person says or does. It's what happens inside you when you step back. Pay attention to that moment. When the distance grows, Your breathing slows, your thoughts quiet, your body relaxes. That is not coincidence. That is information. If your mind feels calmer, your chest feels lighter, and your days feel clearer when someone is not present in your life, your nervous system is telling the truth long before your emotions catch up. Peace is data. Relief is evidence. Think carefully about the last interaction you had with this person. Did you leave feeling grounded or drained, clear or confused, centered or tense? Did you replay the conversation afterward, analyzing your words, wondering if you said something wrong, trying to recover emotional balance? Those reactions are not overreactions. They are signals. Healthy relationships do not require recovery time. Real connection does not leave you anxious. Love does not feel like obligation, confusion, or emotional fatigue. What often happens is subtle. You begin shrinking yourself without noticing. You limit your honesty. You restrain your joy. You filter your personality, not because you want to, but because distance feels safer, and safety should never require absence. Stoic philosophy teaches that the soul recognizes alignment instinctively. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what is good for your nature brings harmony. What is not brings disturbance. Peace, then, becomes the compass. When someone's presence creates chaos, but their absence creates clarity, the relationship is already speaking for itself. People meant for your life add stability. They add calm. They sharpen your thinking. They do not pull you into constant emotional recovery. They do not leave residue you must clean up after every interaction. The most dangerous mistake you can make is ignoring this signal out of guilt, habit, or loyalty to history. Loyalty to the past should never cost you your future. You do not owe anyone access to your mind, your energy, or your inner world if their presence harms it. Distance is not punishment, it is protection. Space is not cruelty, it is clarity. The Stoic response is trust. You trust the evidence of your own peace. You honor your emotional reality without apology. You create distance without drama. You allow what is misaligned to fade without chasing explanations, without demanding closure. If distance brings you back to yourself, that relationship was costing you too much. Peace is the proof. Always trust it. Conclusion. Here is what all of this comes down to. Relationships are meant to strengthen you, not slowly drain you. They are meant to bring clarity, not confusion. Growth, not guilt. Peace, not emotional chaos. When the people closest to you consistently cross your boundaries, minimize your feelings, take without giving, or require you to shrink just to stay connected, that is not love. That is erosion. And erosion, left unchecked, destroys everything from the inside out. Stoic philosophy reminds us that protecting your inner world is not selfish. It is responsible. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your mind is your kingdom, and anything that enters it must be guarded as something sacred. Walking away from those who damage your peace is not cruelty. It is maturity. It is the decision to stop negotiating your worth with people who never intended to value it. You now have 8 unmistakable signs, 8 moments of truth that reveal when a relationship has crossed the line from meaningful to harmful. If even one of these resonated with you, do not ignore it. Your peace is speaking. Choose clarity over guilt, strength over attachment, inner peace over outdated loyalty. Because distance does not break real relationships. It only exposes the ones that were never real to begin with. And if this message spoke to you, You already know what to do. This is NexusMind, where calm becomes power.